Hi everyone, this is Diane. I am currently working on this journal, which will be bound with wires, but I have these two journals completed. So we're going to look at them today, and then you can go to my shop where they will be waiting for the person who would like to take them home. These are spring journals with a baby animal theme because of the just simply gorgeous book covers. And it is spring because we passed the first day of spring a few days ago, but we are having snow. We had sleet last night and we're having snow today, but we're going to go ahead and look at these spring journals anyway. We'll have spring in our minds. This one, they're both made from books from the Current company that sells stationery. And I don't know the years. I think this one is newer than the other one. This one is Bonnie Rabbit Learns What's Important. I have these little chipboard slides that are patterned in really cute colors for these colors of books that I have. So they're not vintage slides, but I just put a ribbon through them. This one is a satin picot ribbon, and this will move. So you just put your ribbon on and tie it, and then adjust this slide where you want it. And I put it off to the side so it doesn't cover Bonnie's little face there. There was a problem with the book cover there where there had been a sticker, so I covered it with some bits of fabric and a little butterfly applique. I used a vintage sheet to cover the spine. I created a new spine with, not chipboard, a flexible file folder, and Tyvek and fabric. And this is a pillowcase, part of a pillowcase, which was washed, cleaned, and I added some vintage rickrack to the edges. You can see here that it is a Current book. And I did 6 cords of beads on the side. Here is your book plate for you to put your name. Now the first pages of each signature are quite stiff because it's a cardstock calendar page, which is actually from Current that I happen to have in my stash, and it is from the same artist that illustrated this book. But there was writing on the back, plus it's just an upside down calendar page, so I covered it. It's just copy paper that I covered it with, but it's pretty stiff. And this is, well, these are both Amity Bloom. I'm not going to name all the digitals that I used, but I did use some Amity Bloom and some Roxy Creations, mostly to cover those pages. This is a non-vintage ledger paper. Well, it might be vintage. I got it at the thrift store. And vintage lace there. This is a little piece of stationery. On this end, there is just some pretty greenery and violets and mushrooms, and you'll see really cute animals on the other side. That's a little printable piece. It's embroidery with deer nibbling on some leaves. And this is just paper, yellow copy paper that I coffee dyed and sprayed with spray inks. And an embroidered linen, or vintage embroidered piece of fabric. This is a page from a Jan Brett book. Featured bears and a band or orchestra and other little animals along the edges. And I made a fabric flip out of this really cute animal, or it's a little bunnies and butterflies fabric. This is a linen that I dyed with Rit dye. It was in my stash. And a vintage rickrack that has crochet around it. Really cute. Might even be tatting. You can put something to write on under here, or a picture, or some sort of memorabilia. I used some quotes from children's books, and I did use a lot of children's book illustrations. This is one, and this is one. And there's lots of room to write inside here. And because this acorn fell right in front of him, I used the quote, "There's nothing else in the whole world I could wish for," he whispered. This is from a wedding guest book It's got Lily of the Valley, which is perfect for spring. I just edge punched this copy paper that's a bright green color and stamped a little deer on it. And this is a vintage gift tag. You would put the person's name. It's a wedding one. It's got Lily of the Valley on it. I used a lot of paper clips in these journals, and I was waiting for them to come from Amazon because I needed some more paper clips. So I Googled, or I searched for cute paper clips, and I got this. I've had some teardrop ones, but this one has colored ones in 2 different sizes. Let me show you the difference. They're both good size and in different colors. I don't know how much I'll use the purple. I didn't even realize that it had purple in it. I did use some of the green in these books, and I used some of the big ones. So those are teardrop ones that I don't even know how many are in there, but I will link it below. Doesn't say here. And then this one is really cute. You'll see it better when you see it on the page, but they're small, but they're a little bigger than the tiny Tim Holtz ones, which I like that they're a little bit bigger, but they have that same kind of a shape, and it even has a little heart in there. I love these, and there's a lot in here. It had these binder clips in there, but I think they were just in there to hold them in the box. There's a plastic lid that goes with that too. So I will link both of these paper clip collections from Amazon in the description. So here we have a green one, and I clipped on, this is on Ideals page, I clipped on a packet of seeds for peas and a library paper, a cute tag, and this is a piece of German scrap with a pretty flower. So I clipped a lot of things on the edges of the pages that you can remove and use wherever you want in the journal. This is a digital. In the Bonnie book, I did not use the pages as pages. The middle signature has 1 page from the Bonnie book. There were very few pages in the book. So I wanted to cut out the figures because they were just perfect for fussy cutting. So I used 2 figures in the center of each signature and glued them to cardstock and made the most adorable tuck spots. And I glue them strategically so that they work as a tuck spot, but you can still fit things in it. So this is a digital, and this is just a colored flash card. And on this side we have another digital, a bingo paper. You can write on the back of that. Another digital flashcard. And this is a little poem that came out of one of the Bunny books. A solemn warning to children's books. A solemn warning to rabbit lovers. A bunny nibbles all day long. A bunny doesn't think it's wrong. He nibbles mittens, mufflers, mops. He only pauses when he hops. He nibbles curtains, lamp cords, shoes. He only stops to take a snooze. So that's your warning, because there are lots of bunnies in this book. I put some lace on this edge, and these stickers came out of, they were part of the illustrations of this book also. And there's another really sweet digital from KB and Friends. Lots of the little digitals are from KB and Friends. There's another stamp. And I really love the way this tuck spot turned out with this bunny. The other journal has another tuck spot with a bunny from the same book that is just as sweet as this one. And it says how much fun this will be. And I made this tag. I just cut this out of cardstock, cut this piece out of cardstock, and glued on this book image. I used the fluffy fibers for the tags, and I glued on a little cluster there. And here are the animals on the other side of that stationery piece. There's a deer and some bunnies and a little mouse. Here's another little bunny. It's fuzzy, It's a 1940s greeting card. You can tell it was glued into a scrapbook. It is adorable. There's a little butterfly on a mushroom there. This black and white illustration came from a book about nighttime. I love it. It looks so nice against these pretty colors here. And a vintage children's card and a little cutout piece. You could glue that onto a page or just write a little note on it and tuck it back in there. Second signature. Again, we have Amity Bloom papers, digitals. This is lace that I glued there. Here's another stationery piece, and it has bunnies and daffodils and a basket. Look at that one climbing up the corner. Looks very springish. And there's a little duck and some vintage trim. This is the page that I used, the one page. I could have cut that out, but I liked this page. I wanted to include one page as a page. Love the primrose right there. Here's a fabric flip with some pretty butterflies and that leaf, the vine trim. Now this bunny looks pretty melancholy, but a little chipmunk looks pretty happy, so I used What a Wonderful Time of Year, he thought. This is from the Bonnie book. This is stationery, and it had someone's initials right there, so I covered it with a fabric strip of daffodils. It was a fabric ribbon. You can still see the initials through there. There's a little duckling. Another paper clip with a Beatrix Potter book page. Another library card. It's actually a paper. This is a vintage German children's card with a chick on it and some more German scrap flowers. I don't know how old those German scrap flowers are. They might not be vintage. Some more digitals. And this came from a children's book. I left a lot of empty space for you to write on. Here's the center with the images from the book. We have a frog and a butterfly. I just love those soft colors. And there's Bonnie and a chipmunk and a mouse. These were really fun. You can see the pretty little hearts on the paper clips there. And we have a yellow index card and a digital. And this tag that was made for me by Susan. I love it. I love this die. Makes such beautiful flowers, and I love the way she arranged them on that tag. Thank you, Susan. And over here we have a guest check and a Snapdragon seed packet and another digital with a little game from a children's book. Two more digitals and two illustrations from children's books. This came from the front of a gardening book. It has the spring bulb plants, flowers, starting with the snowdrops and the crocus and moving on as they progress through the spring. There's a chipmunk stamp. This was a digital from KB and Friends. Love that pretty pennant. Another book page illustration. And this was perfect. This rabbit with smelling the flowers, and I had this quote from a children's book, "The sweet smell of new wildflowers and damp earth." Perfect. Here I added a fabric strip that I collaged the fabric, and then added some digitals. Oh, I'm trying to turn 2 pages at once. And here was an empty spot here, and I just wanted to add something you could write on, so I stamped that and cut it out. This one is Roxy Creations, but it has an Amity Bloom piece on it as a decoration. Beautiful lace piece. This piece of stationery has the sweetest raccoons on branches with pink blossoms. It's one of those folded out ones, but it wasn't folded and it's not as heavy as most of them are. That's a digital with the cute little ducks and some more vintage embroidered fabric. It's organza. A children's book page. It had someone's name written up there, so I put this little digital label on it. And this fabric has a cute bunny going off to school. We have some animals having cake and pie here. And here's a little cutout of Bonnie Rabbit. This is just a list of things to do throughout the week. It was on a tablet of paper. This is a vintage bluebird sticker, and I just put an orange die cut behind it. Here is an ideals page, and we have a children's flashcard with turtles and a little green flashcard, a digital flashcard, and this vintage piece with forget-me-nots in the shape of a heart and some lily of the valley. You can use that in the book somewhere. It's a cute little mommy bunny. And then the last center, we have Bonnie Rabbit and a mouse. We have some daffodils, some other spring flowers. Very sweet. This is the picture on the front. We have a bingo paper and a cute little digital. Butterfly digital and a flashcard bordered in yellow. The paper clip is holding a children's card and a digital. There's a deer and some bunnies down there, and a bunny there. This came from a book. There's a frog stamped there, and a frog cut from a book over here. Here is another pocket. I didn't see the one that I said I really loved with that bunny on it. Did I just go right by it? Hang on, we have to look for it. Where is this? Oh, it's on the back half. Oh, this is still the first book. Oh dear, I thought we were on the second book already. Okay, so this is from KB and Friends, and I suppose you're supposed to put this on with a brad, but I didn't want to because things would get caught on the brad, so I just glued it to the highest number you could get. This is a digital also, and this is from a children's book. This is from a children's book with beautiful illustrations, and it was an ABC book, and it was in Spanish. There's the rest of the raccoons, and this is, each journal got 2 vintage cards. This one, you could glue paper to the back and write on it, but it has bits of the scrapbook glued to it. It's a Hallmark card. It's from the 40s, and it has this cute little deer and a bluebird. And I glued this on as a little tuck spot with some birds. And there's a little journaling card and a little frog children's card. Love this. On the back cover, I added a fabric pocket, and then added a tiny little pocket with a vintage flower applique on it. And in there I have this little shoe store tag and a little yellow sale tag. So cute. And this dot matrix card, it was perforated in sheets, and then a digital of a deer, and I added a tab. So this one is Bonnie Rabbit. I love that. This one is called Freddie's Spring Picnic, and it has the same fabric on the spine. It has another of the chipboard slides, and it has a pink satin ribbon. More beads. And this one is more stained. And I wiped it off, but these stains don't come off. But I really like it. It just shows how old it is. So as I said, this calendar was done by this artist. Look at the deer there and the deer there. These are Roxy Creations. This piece and this piece and this piece. Got some lace up there. There are some differences. Of course, all the pages are different. But I used more of the book pages. There's one book page in each signature with this book. There's a chick and a duck. The duck is swimming away, looking back at the chick, and the chick looks like he has a tear. And he's saying, this did not come from this. I just put them together. Why not be friends? You will like me when you know me. Now, really, you will. Creepity, creepity, an inch an hour. That's the speed rate of turtle power. Of course, that opens up. And we have a seed packet here for peas, the library, the tag, and it's a goose German scrap piece. So for the centers of this book, I did different things, and this one was a page from this book that I turned into a double pocket. So this one has a card that you can write on, tucked in, and this one has the bingo paper, a couple of flashcards, and a little mouse playing card, game card. Deer digital, pretty piece from a children's book. Beautiful snowdrops from an Ideals book. I added these little stamped bears on, I stamped them and punched them out, and then made a little banner with some scraps. And that's just a little printable ticket, and I just put some little scraps of paper behind it. The robin laughed. There's some Lily of the Valley. No, they're not Lily of the Valley. I kept saying that, but they're not snowdrops. It has the Latin word that's partly covered. It says flowers larger than those of the snowdrops, so that's how I know they're not snowdrops. I love this little picture with the bunnies, and he's trying to paw a butterfly there. Really cute. Maybe the robin's laughing because the butterfly's getting away. This is adorable with the mouse communing with the frogs, and there's a dragonfly up there. These images are just so cute. Fabric cluster. This is a digital. This is beautiful. This is from Amity Bloom. And so is that. There's a little piece of lace there. Got a couple squirrels down here. This is the only pocket I embossed. I forgot to do it on any of the others. But I like it. It's little flowers. Looks springy. And the bunnies are checking their mail. So this page goes with the one with the squirrel and the acorn. It says 1, 2, plunk. An acorn landed right in front of Chippy. This was what I hid the initials with. 2 scraps of paper and a digital word. We have Beatrix Potter page and a library page pocket, a library card, and another of the little chick German cards, and a German scrap flower. More digitals there. There's a gopher and some bunnies. I believe this came from a Bambi golden book. I love this little pocket with the squirrel, or the mouse and his strawberry. There's a guest check, some deer from Amity Bloom, and this is a larger page that I made a tuck spot out of. Another guest check. I didn't realize I put 2 together, but that's okay. This flashcard has an owl, a yellow index card, and this is a digital. A digital and a book page. Now, this is talking about Freddy, but it's not this Freddy. It's spelled differently. This Freddy is a mouse, and I think this Freddy was a squirrel. I'm not sure. It was a tiny little book, and there's a little squirrel chasing a butterfly. Here is a vintage card with a bunny and a chick. It's an Easter card from 1944. Some bunny loves you. This is the one I was looking for, with this adorable bunny, and it says, look up, up, up. So he's looking at this bee. This is a KB and Friends digital. This came out of a vintage magazine. And they're talking to the little grasshopper. There's a nice cluster there. And this is a quote from Anne of Green Gables, probably from the very first chapter. This is all one printable, nice patchy looking piece, and that's Amity Bloom. Here's another stationery piece with a cute mouse with a buttercup in his mouth. We've got some green dots and some bunnies on this fabric. In this illustration, we have a bear and a fox, a squirrel, and a rabbit. Another seed packet for sweet peas, and there's a little vintage sticker of Lily of the Valley. Came out of a 1940 scrapbook. Here's some raccoons from that book about nighttime. I was looking if there's a bear on the cover. There's a bear on the cover of the third book I'm going to use, because I put several bears in this. But I think I'm not sure if there's a bear in the pages. Doesn't matter. These 2 pages, these 2 illustrations were one illustration in the book, in a different book. And I just cut them, split them up. But they're still together. He's waving at her and she's looking back at him. There's a bingo paper and this bear from another book on a pogo stick. I backed him with cardstock, so you can write on him if you want to. There's a book page that has, it's a folio, so it has other animals. You can cut them out, use them, do whatever you want. Just leave them in there so you can look at them. Some digital, oh no, that's a digital. And this is a children's card. Got some bunnies looking up at them. Love this bird's nest with the eggs in it. This came out of a really old magazine from the 40s. It had animals wearing hats. And this one is in a hat. He's got a straw hat here, wearing a shirt. And this is one of Thumper's siblings, I think. And he's looking up at this strange sight of a rabbit coming out of a hat. And it says, "Here is something." And the other vintage card in here is some bluebirds. Easter greetings. It's got some foiling. It's really pretty. You can't open it because of the piece of foil that's inside. And here's another pocket with a rabbit. It's a digital, just a die cut card, a tag, and another kid's card. And again, we have the same sort of pocket on the back with the same things tucked in. And this is another KB and Friends digital. That is so cute. I love this. I love everything about these books because, you know, I love the little woodlands animals in the retro style. These are not from the 50s, but they have that kind of a look to them, I think. They are vintage. This one might be from the 80s, maybe even 90s. And this one, I really don't know. I'm not even going to venture a guess. But they're cute. That's all I care about. They are cute books. So these are in my shop when you see this video. I'm sorry I'm not scheduling things. I just have a lot of things happening right now. So the easiest thing for me is to just have them in the shop when you see the video. And so, yeah, you can follow the link below and see if they're still there if you want one. And I will see you very soon with this one. Have a creative day. Bye-bye.